Hi guys, welcome to the channel. I hope you're having an awesome, fantastic day. My name's Rich and this is Savage Supercars. Today's video, I just want to talk to you about vintage, classic and modern cars and just kind of where you are with them really on a personal basis. You know, if Lady Luck, the lottery came in the weekend, where you would spend or invest your money. And I've got quite a few friends in the industry, as you can imagine, and some of them have got some really lovely classic cars, American and British classic cars, and a couple of guys I know have got some really old vintage stuff like early 30s, Model Ts, that kind of thing, and just really, you know, what your thoughts are and your process on these sort of things. So if it wasn't the COVID situation, I normally would go to sort of 4 or 5 car shows by now, and quite a few classic and historical car shows as well, not just, you know, muscle cars or American cars or whatever, quite a few different classic shows. And you know, you start looking around and you see some of the old stuff and you think to yourself, oh, you know, I'd really like that, like late 70s, early 80s Mercedes, or you know, a 70s Triumph, or you know, a 60s Oldsmobile, or a 50s Chrysler, or you know, a 60s Mustang or whatever. There's so much choice and variety. And it's a personal taste as well. For me, I actually prefer the early American stuff. You know, a classic Mustang, Camaro, an Oldsmobile, a Chrysler. You know, just an old, I think old American car, especially from the 50s, had real style and grace that I don't think really the British cars had. I'm not a huge fan of the E-Type Jag. I totally get it. I think the styling on it is amazing. I totally understand that it was, you know, it was our way of attacking Ferrari back in the day, the British version of a Ferrari. And I get it, I understand it, and I understand why people love it so much. And you see the prices, I've seen the price over the years from 50 grand to 250 grand, you know, in less than a year, the fluctuation in prices. It's just, I don't know. If I had the money, if I had the means, I wouldn't say I've got to own an E-Type. It just doesn't do it for me, I suppose, really, is what I'm saying. But I would buy a 1965 Ford Mustang, or a 1940s Ford Mercury. Do you know what I mean? Something that's got real, you know, some real style to it. Some of the old Oldsmobiles, you know, the chrome with the fins and the big fenders, just absolutely a beautiful looking classic car. You know, and I can't help it. I go to all the classic car meets, and I'm always drawn to some of the really early American stuff rather than the British stuff. Now, I do like some of the later German stuff. I really like some of the old Mercedes, you know, the 190 SLs, the Gullwing, you know, 300 SL Gullwing, the Pagoda roof ones, even up to like the late 70, early 80 SLs, you know, the kind of heart-to-heart Dallas Dynasty kind of era of those kind of flash Mercedes, and some of the big S500s back in the day. I can see the appeal for them, but yeah, you know, I wouldn't want to buy a Hillman Minx, or you know, that kind of car, a Princess, or a Dorchester, a Zodiac or a Zephyr. Just not really for me. And I get there's a market for it, and I'm not disrespecting it. I totally get it. If it's what you fancy, it's what your appeal is, I get it. But for me, I think if it was my money, if I was going to spend 50 grand on a classic car, I would probably go for an American classic car with a bit of history behind it over a British one. I mean, I do like you know, the early Beetles and the camper vans and that kind of thing. That's a massive market. I saw a really nice 18-window, split-window camper van the other day, and it was like 44 grand. I mean, it was beautiful, but 44 grand for a camper van, but that's the market. But then I was chatting to a guy the other day, and we were saying, you know, if it was your money, would you go old classic, or would you go more, sorry, I apologise, we turned off, or would you go more modern? You know, some of the classic cars, you know, they're not very reliable. You know, they're really not. You've got to think about the reliability of it. I want a car that I can just, if you wake up on a Sunday morning, the weather's amazing, I want to jump in that car, start it on a button and take it for a drive. I want the drive appeal, not the, is it going to start? Is it going to break down? Some of the old stuff, really old stuff, now, is it going to overheat? There's a generation now of people that have never suffered the pain of a manual choke. Yeah, a lot of you guys I'm sure have had the manual choke on a car where you're playing with it in the cold mornings, trying to get it, you know, don't want to flood it, but if you've not enough choke it won't start, too much choke it will flood it, and the pain of a manual choke over what we're used to now. And that's the problem with the classic cars, isn't it? You know, they smell of oil, fuel and glue, you know, and I get the appeal to it. I'm not an engineer. I don't want to get my hands dirty. I don't want to spend the weekends tinkering with it. And I know there's a generation of people that do, and I totally get that and I totally respect that. But for me personally, I love a car for the ability to drive it, get in the car, and you know, even if you've got no destination planned, you might go, do you know what, let's go for a drive, do a 30-40 mile drive on a really nice day, go and have a bit of breakfast somewhere and meet up with some friends, and then drive back, and for the journey's sake, rather than, you know, oh, I want to mess about with the carburetor, I'm going to strip the carburetor this weekend, or mess about with this or that. I don't want to be doing that. I want to be able to just drive the car for what it's for, enjoy the car. So I don't know, I do like a classic car, but you know, if I was going to spend 50 grand on a weekend toy, you know, would I get a more modern car? I mean, 50 grand, you'd get an ISM3 M4 or a C63S, or, you know, something like that, German-wise, or, you know, a TVR. But then TVRs weren't reliable, or an old Lotus. Porsches were. 50 grand, you'd get a very, very nice Porsche 911, something like that. And you know, there's a Porsche owners club that you could join and have a lot of fun with, and you know it's not going to break down, you know it's going to be reliable, and you're going to have fun. It's a real driver's car. I don't know, it's a difficult question, because I'll see a Mustang, I'll see a 65 Mustang coupe and go, yeah, that's I love the style of it, the look of it, the smell of the engine, the raw engineering of it. But I couldn't fix it if it broke down. I'd be absolutely no use at all. I'm not that way inclined. I'm not a mechanical engineer, so you know, I wouldn't be able to do that. But I need it to be reliable. So it's difficult, isn't it? As I say, I've got an old mate of mine was obsessed with the early Bentley blowers, you know, like the 6 litre absolute beast. They sound like thunder. They're just oily, smelly beasts of a race car for the road. Brian Johnston, the lead singer of AC/DC, has got one in his collection. He's a huge petrol head. I'm sure most of you know that, but if you didn't, Brian Johnston is a massive petrol head, and he lives in a little village, and he's got an old, like early 30s Bentley blower. And yeah, taking that to the local shop to get some milk and a loaf of bread on a Sunday morning, I can imagine his neighbours love him, because it's a real event. All those engines and pistons running around, and oh mate, again, I can appreciate an appeal for that kind of car. I really, really can. But I don't think I'd want to own it. I think it would be, I want to be able to just jump in it and go. I just want to be able to, you know, that's one of the reasons why I possibly wouldn't go for a McLaren, because it's that unknown. Alfa Romeos, I love Alfa Romeos. I think they really style their cars right, and the sound, and everyone will tell you on the right road, on the right day, with the right conditions, nothing is better than that Alfa Romeo on that back road. But you'd be sitting there the whole time going, waiting for a warning light to come on the dashboard. Is today the day the oil pump's going to go, or the fuel filter's going to go, or the ignition? It's that living with the knife-edge sword of, is today the day, that's going to hemorrhage money, hemorrhage time, break down, let you down. But when they're running right, they're fantastic. I've had some amazing adventures. A very good friend of mine is a huge Alfa fan, and he bought an old Alfa Sud, and he ran it for years. He went to Wales on holiday with his family, and it never let him down once. And then years later, he got a 156 GT, the big engine one, the big 3.2, and with a big spoiler on the back. I mean, it was amazing to drive. But literally, it disintegrated in front of his eyes. It was like watching your most precious gift just disintegrate. Literally, day by day by day, this thing just disintegrated into nothing. And in the end, I think he pretty much gave it away. And it was his dream car. And I remember, you know, thinking, what an amazing car, but I wouldn't want to own it. I wouldn't want that headache. If I had one as a company car, then fantastic, but it wouldn't be my money if something went wrong with it. And that's the problem with that kind of car, isn't it? So, you know, Aston Martins can be a little bit the same as you go for the older ones, but the new Vantage now, is amazing. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's an individual choice, and you know, you've got to say what's best for you. 50 grand, if you want a really good, reliable car that's going to give you lots of fun, I'd look at probably one like a Porsche 911, something like that. You get a lot of Porsche for 50k nowadays. You really will, you know. And really good driver appeal and engineering ability. One of the BMWs, Mercedes, or the Audis. Actually, I was with my wife shopping the other day, and a CLS 63 AMG went past. It was the Gen 2 version, 2013, 2014 model, and it looked lovely, really, you know, beautiful looking, very stylish. And my wife was really impressed by how it looked as it went past us. And then the guy obviously dropped it down, you know, used the paddles, dropped it down, and floored it and around this roundabout. And the sound was absolutely amazing. The engine was just purring away. It was a real driver's appeal, and that's kind of like a sleeper car, isn't it? You know, it looks lovely, can carry a family of 4 very comfortably. You can easily go shopping with it and take the dog to the vets and do all the things you want to do with it. But when you want it to be a little bit special, you put your foot down and you can have fun, you can play with it. It's an absolute beast. I love the CLS, and second hand, they're a really good buy. I was looking the other day, and sort of, you know, under 30k for a really nice low mileage CLS 63. What a lot of car for the money, a lot of car for the money, and solid reliability. So yeah, so I don't know, guys, if it was my 50k, and you know, do you buy classic or modern or vintage, or where do you go with it? Depends on what you want. I always thought I'd end up with a Ford Mustang from the mid-60s, join a Mustang owners club, weekends go to all the meets and chat with your mates, and I always thought that would be my kind of retirement plan. But I don't know now, you know, I don't know whether I could live with it. The opportunity would be nice. My wife loves Mustang, so you know, that would be maybe an opportunity, but I don't really know. Before we go, I'm just going to put an image on the screen that you can see now. So this was released this week. This is a Dodge Hellcat Red Eye, but it's a special edition one done by Forza Sport, who like to tune and adapt and twist. So this car you can see on the screen now, it's 1100 brake horsepower Hellcat Red Eye special edition, Forza special edition, and yeah, I need that in my life. I mean, there's absolutely amazing 1100 horsepower. You know, still carried 5 passengers comfortably, all your shopping, airport run. It's just an absolute amazing car, ticks all the boxes. Yeah, maybe the build quality of the plastics isn't the same as the Germans, maybe. I'd probably agree with that, but the styling is amazing. It looks fantastic. It's got that retro look, and I've actually done a video on the Challenger before. I'll link the image below. That's an old video that I did about the history of the Challenger and the Charger. But this new one, this new Forza Special Edition, 1100 horsepower. Yeah, I definitely would love an opportunity, maybe get out to America and take one of these for a test drive, because I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. We have been invited to the next American Muscle Show, which I think is going to be end of September up in London. We've just missed one now, obviously because of COVID. It only came back to members only, but we've been invited as guests. So Savage Supercars will be going to the American Muscle Show up in London later on in the year. I think it's middle to the end of September, and obviously we'll film that, guys, and go from there. But we've got lots of exciting stuff coming. But yeah, just a bit of food for thought, guys. If you had 50 grand to buy a toy, be interesting, let us know, message us, comment below on Instagram, whatever. Let us know what you think, let us know what you feel about where you'd spend your 50 grand if it was a toy, you know, something that you'd want to use at weekends, you know, and you know, enjoy with, not a car just for day-to-day, but something you want to enjoy with. Have a think about it, let us know what you think. Guys, thanks for supporting the channel, we do appreciate it. Thanks for everything you guys do. We're going to keep putting videos out there. We've got some driving videos coming up, we've got some car reviews coming up, so we've got some exciting stuff ahead. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please push the notification bell and you will know when the videos are coming up. We're trying to do at least one a week at the moment. We're all still working, very busy behind the scenes, so it is very hectic, but we're getting there. The t-shirts are out. We've only got them available in blue and black, but I'll be wearing one next time on the next video. So thanks for watching. Please stay safe. Thumbs up if you like the video, that really helps, and we'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Drive safe. Bye-bye.